In this course I'm working on, I am splitting this instructor's tasks for her modules into expandable and collapsible sections for each of the tasks the students are supposed to be completing throughout the module. So I have review syllabus, review instructions, attend class, so on and so forth. But I didn't do my work ahead of time and think about just how many tasks I needed, so I do need to add a few more tasks. And you can do that manually by using these plus buttons and adding columns, all very manually. But the easier way to do it is to go up to the top here and click on Add Layout. And now I'm on my section layouts page where I can actually add that expandable and collapsible section with just a few keystrokes. So I was on task 4, so I need to ask task 5 and say, go into your classroom and meet with student. I would probably write this more succinctly if I wasn't also recording right now. I'll go back and change it later. And I can also change the color right here if I want to. I like to take off the show borders. I'm going to make it collapsible, and I'm also going to make it start collapse so that when the page loads, the students do have to click on it to expand it. I typically recommend doing that so that the students can only focus in on one task at a time rather than seeing everything they need for that course or for that module all at once. It really just helps them compartmentalize and focus in on what they need to do at that time. I can also choose the layout, so this one's just, a single column, but this one's got 2 equal columns, so I can have some text on the right and maybe a text on the left and maybe a picture on the right. I oftentimes will use this one. This is probably my go-to. I like to have a wider space on the left for more text, and then something short or relatively short on the page, vertically short on the page over here on the right, but just to give something to add to the course, maybe a picture to take up that white space. Then I'll just click on Add Layout, and now I have my brand new task 5 that I can go in and begin adding content to. Now, if you had prepared ahead of time and you knew you had 7 tasks for your module, you could actually make this an even faster process by using, again, one of the layouts that are available. So now I'm going to go into a blank page to show you what this looks like. So now I'm on a blank page, and I know I have 7 tasks, but I don't really quite know how to get started. Thankfully, there is some helper text on this page, and I can click on the Add Layout button and go to my page layouts. Again, if you already have content on this page, just look up here. The Add Layout tab is always here, so you can always find it again. So I'm going to click on Add Layout, and instead of section layouts, I'm actually going to do a page layout, because this is actually just giving me a layout for the entirety of the page. So I have a couple of different options. I'm not going to go too far into most of them, but the one that I really want to focus on is the interior layout with task sections. And that might not mean anything to you. There's a text explanation, but what's probably more helpful is the preview image. So I do recommend taking a look at that. When you use this layout, what you're going to get is an overview block and a block for your learning outcomes, as well as a checklist. You'll also get a set number of expandable and collapsible tasks, and you can kind of customize these. So I'll show you how to do that. So I say here, I know I have 7 task sections I need to do. So I will click on number 7, and I also know I'm going to want them gold because that's kind of going with the theme of this course. And I'm going to say that they should be collapsible, and I also want them to start close. Very quickly, I now have a page with my overview, learning outcomes, checklist, and all the tasks that I can begin adding content to. I'm sure you're curious to know what these others were. I won't go into them because that's not really the purpose of what I'm trying to show in this video, but this lets you this is a step backwards in your course planning process. So this is if you're kind of starting from complete scratch and you're rebuilding your course, or it's a new course, this gives you an option to set out all the weeks for your course and give them a title rather than having to click the plus icon, add subpage, title it, click the plus icon again, add subpage, title it. So I can say I want all my buttons to be called module, for instance, and I can change the button color. We typically recommend using just the default color for buttons, but sometimes it might make sense to use a different color. And then you can say I want to have 6 subpages created. So that'd be 6 modules for your course. Or if you're wanting to do, a module per week, 16 or 15 or 14 depending on the semester. Or 6 depending on the semester. And then you click that and you basically just get a subpage a full subpage of 16 buttons where you can begin adding your content. So I'm not actually going to add that, but then the other option here is an interior layout. So again, this is on a specific module or specific week page. I can read about it again if I want to, but I can also just click on the preview image. This is a template that's similar to what we were using in the fall, at the beginning of the pandemic for all the template sites. So this is just a less involved layout for your pages then that doesn't have the expandable and collapsible section. So this gives you an overview, a spot where you can type in your tasks, again, not expandable or collapsible tasks, but just a spot for you to type those in, checklist, dates, and then a spot for you to upload any resources that you might be giving to your students to complete these tasks. So I'm not going to do that right now, but I just want to show those options as people are beginning to build classes for the semester.